big problem right now, gentlemen, is the fact that there's more injuries in the NFL in the preseason than in its history.
Yeah.
And they're still doing 11-on-11 drills. When are these guys going to wake the F up, Hardline and Daly, and say, you know what, shut it down? We had no injuries in 2020 when we had COVID and everything was virtual. It's all classroom and all taking the test. Darren Waller is right now, as we speak, getting imaged for his knee that he hurt in an 11-on-11 drill with the New England Patriots. I want your takes on this, guys, because it's absolutely, I'm sweating. I'm so pissed off.
Well, I agree with you 100% right there, because I do think you're right. I think COVID showed, you don't need intense contact. You do need contact. You do need some rigorous activity to get these guys ready for a game. But at the same time, too, I think you're right. I think there's a lot, especially players who've been in the league 2, 3, 4, 5, or 20 years. They do not need a lot of contact. So I think there's got to be something there that does need to be looked at on, medical research. What do you think, Hardline?
I mean, I totally agree. I don't think that you need it. I mean, look, we already know for the most part who's going to be at least about 40 guys that's going to make the roster. You know who your starters are for the most part, projected starters. Maybe 11-on-11, that's fine. You already know that maybe they're probably going to play the third preseason game, maybe a little bit more of the fourth. But at that point, you already got who you have penciled in. I don't think it's necessary. And look, this is what happens. You start getting more and more guys that are injured. Now you're having to rework the roster. Now you're having to look at second-string players, that you might be able to do. You might have to change some schemes up. So I don't think that it's worth it.
All right, folks. Let me just tell folks who we are here. We are Daily Fish, coming to you from Vegas and Myrtle Beach. We hit issues that you like to talk about: sports, entertainment, politics, everything in between. We're controversial but informed. No extreme, no woke, no Karens, no social cops here. We let the threes fly. We aim for the third deck. It's a bumpy but fun ride. I'm John Daly in Myrtle Beach. He is Eric Fish Schneider in Vegas, along with John Hardison, our hardline betting guy from the Cost of Winning podcast. And he's with us as well. And welcome. Love having you here. And there's so many things to hit on that Fish, give me a couple of topics.
Hardline, is that an earring in your nose?
See, senor.
You know what, bro? That looks fantastic. I just never noticed that on you. You don't wear that in the bar. Is this like your Batman type thing that you put your? I think. Do you ever wear that when you go out? That looks fantastic. Said either it's got the hugest zit in the planet, or it just went. You know what? Right now. There you go. This is it. This is forever. This is what you are, buddy. Right here.
Nice. Who's got the swag?
That man. Hardline. Wow, I love it. That's great. Did it hurt when they put it in?
No, actually, I tell anybody, I've had it for a while, but it's like if you could get your finger pricked, you could get your nose pierced. It does not hurt. Honest to goodness. I wasn't going to do anything like big and like gaudy, like a big, huge, like half my face, but I was like, something small. I had it for a little while, so I was like, we'll see.
I'm safe in my skin, and I'm speaking for Daly because he's told me this. You're a sexy man. You're a very sexy man. Wow. If we were single, I would be your wingman. I'd probably, knowing me, I'd get my nose pierced, and I'd be complaining like, what the hell happened, goddammit? Why am I nose running? There's nothing I have a goddamn piercing in my nose. Sports, guys, is right now, Daly, for the hardliner now, and even you, with the great golf news, the great purses in the PGA going up because of the live, something positive.
Yeah.
Baseball's coming in. We're at the end of the dog days of August. I want to talk about something in baseball that really aggravates me. And I was going to wait till Monday, but we got a special guest Monday. We don't want to tease it. Major League Baseball announced that in 2023, gentlemen, that baseball, every team plays every other team. So now you don't see your other division rivals 19 times. You see them 13 times. I think that effing stinks. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Hardline.
I love it. Look, I don't need you to play the same teams 19 times. I want to see some more interleague play. I want to see things. And again, I'm not surprised that this happened now that there's a DH in both leagues. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think that it's good, especially you have so many people that are transient now. I think that it works out better. Maybe now you can see more of your teams that you thought, you would have to fly back home to see in exchange for that. And look, this is part of what's going to happen, especially now that we have streaming services. the more opportunities you have to push the game forward and the more opportunities you have to sell brands on areas that they weren't, the better it is for the league.
I don't like your thing in your nose anymore. You're totally wrong, but go ahead, David.
Yeah, but the thing in your nose is usually your finger. So hardline, I agree with you, but I'll take the other side of it too, because if you're the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Colorado Rockies, this is really good because you're going to get the Red Sox and Yankees coming in than you normally wouldn't have coming in.
Right.
But if you're the Red Sox and Yankees, if you're Red Sox and Yankee fans, you ain't happy about it because you live for those Red Sox Yankee games. You live for those Cardinals Cubs games. You live for the Dodgers Giants game. So I think it's helping some of the other teams to probably get some more revenue. For instance, Kansas City Royals. I mean, who's their big rivalry? Really? I mean, who is it?
Okay.
It could be the St. Louis Cardinals, but that's an interleague game. But they'll still play them.
I'm going to buy into Hardline because he's right 68% of the time, and you and I are right 31% of the time when it comes to making prognostications. I will buy into this Hardline. I want to see if you agree with this, John Daly. If they decide to play most of those bulk of the 13 games from August to the end of the season, then I'm in. But when the Red Sox could be down 4 games to the Yankees and they've already played them and they're going to play the Diamondbacks, you want to get the greatest thing about baseball is that always at the end of the season, the Dodgers are playing the Giants and the Padres. You've exhausted those games. Then what good is it? Wait, you're trying to sell a sport too. Oh, what happens in late August and early September on the weekends? Oh, NFL, college football. So let's just show the Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers when it doesn't mean something. I'm not buying it unless you make those games relevant. Are you guys in?
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, look, and that's a push. I mean, they've got to change, as we've talked about numerous times, things about the game. I think the streaming helps. I think maybe back ending those games makes a difference, especially when you're pushing towards October. I mean, there's a lot that they can do in terms of getting people more interested in the games. Are they going to overtake college and pro football? No, but, look, all you got to do is be top 5.
Well, and I also think that it doesn't matter because you can record the games. So if it's up against football, you're going to record the baseball game and you'll buzz through it. My wife, Terry, has this system. She really watches a full baseball game in about an hour and a half because she'll record it and then go away for 2 or 3 innings, come back and she knows exactly how to do it, get right to the pitch when the ball's hit and all that. She sees that. But Fish, your point is a great point because what I don't like is that Red Sox Yankees playing in early April. And then they're not playing, and then they finish playing each other in early September, even when they had 19 games. No. I want Yankees and Red Sox. I want Giants and Dodgers, and I want Cubs and Cardinals playing. I want them playing in those last 2 weeks of the season a lot. And you're right. If you think about it, I mean, if they're going to play 13 games, that's only, 4 series, maybe. That's four series and 1 extra game. So they're going to play 4 times. So 2 and 2 at home. So that's not a lot. So, I think baseball's trying to be a little bit more progressive and all for the common good to get those other teams in there. But I don't know. I think the big city fans are going to be like, I don't know if I like that.
Well, I went back, Hardline. I looked at what the NBA does. And the Lakers are always playing Golden State and Phoenix in the last week of the season. National Hockey League, the Kings are playing the Sharks and the Knights. Mm-hmm. The NFL, how brilliant the last week of the season, Daly. Division rivals go at it. Look at last year with the Raiders and Chargers happen to be playing each other to make the playoffs. You need that in baseball. I don't want to see the Yankees playing the Arizona Diamondbacks in the last week of the season, and that could happen. I think the hotter heads will prevail, and they'll get it done. Guys, real quick, I gave my wife and my mother-in-law a present. I haven't seen Top Gun yet, so I bought it and I watched it. You guys see Top Gun Maverick?
I haven't seen the second one.
No.
Daily, Hardline, it's very hard to make a sequel to something and then do it 26 years later. And all you hear is accolades about this film. It was phenomenal. Cruise's story, the way they got Val Kilmer, I'm not giving anything away. Miles Teller, who's on top of the world right now. I talked to Daly about the show. He did The Offer. Well, he's not in for Emmy. He's brilliant. It was so good and so entertaining that I highly recommend that you two guys, and you can buy it. It can forever be on your DirecTV for $19. You're going to spend more than that going to the theater. For $19 right now, you get it. If you have DirecTV, it's on your DVR forever, and I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
What,
so
you guys watch it? Have you ever watched anything, guys, that you said you watch it again daily? Like a movie, would you say like watch this again?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Give me one.
Yeah.
Give me one movie you've watched and you could watch again.
The Revenge of the Pink Panther.
Okay.
I'll give you Pulp Fiction.
So Peter Sellers is great. That's not laughable.
Funniest movie of all time in my eyes.
I saw the porno version of that.
Who was in it?
Revenge of the Pink. Go ahead. What about
do you still have a mustache?
What? Yeah.
Do you still have a mustache?
Let me borrow your nose piercing, motherfucker. Come on. No, hardline, go. I'm sorry. I'm talking about go.
No, you're good. Pulp Fiction. I just think that it's just a very well done movie. I've seen it a million times, and there's still just different parts or things I'll catch or different jokes and just the star-studded cast. You know, I tell people all the time, I said, if you think about it, you've got what? Almost 3 Academy Award winners, if not more, or nominees, Golden Globe winners. We're talking about, not even talking about Tarantino, but you've got Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Sam Jackson, Phil Lamar, Tim Roth, and the list goes on and on. And it's amazing that Ving Rhames, you're able to get all these people on such a low budget because the budget really wasn't that high. And Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
There's scenes in that movie. I mean, I think what made that movie so brilliant was it was good to see. That was John Travolta's comeback film, and
I'm
a big Tarantino guy, and that 1990 was just a brilliant film. If you haven't seen the film, folks, you got it. The scene when they're trying to get that adrenaline in Uma Thurman's, Eric Stoltz and John Travolta, you feel the tension of because she's having an overdose from cocaine, and they had to get a shot of adrenaline in her heart. To watch these two idiots try and do that was terrific on film.
It's good stuff. So, Fish, what's yours?
The
one you're gonna
don't
watch.
Laugh. Don't laugh because this is an indie film.
I think I know what it is.
No, The Pope of Greenwich Village with Mickey Rourke and Eric Roberts came out in 1984. It's about 2 guys that are waiters that steal from the mob. Did you ever see that film, John?
Oh yeah.
It won the Sundance. It won. If you watch the film, it's Burt Young's in it. It's got an all-star cast, and it's about 2 waiters that steal from the mob and how they get out of it. And Daryl Hannah's brilliant in it.
I thought I was close, Fish. I thought I was close. I really thought you were gonna say Debbie Does Dallas. I feel like you've seen that movie over 40 times. You know, each scene that's coming up.
Wait, stop, guys. You know, I was in a couple of pornos. I was in Gladiator. I was in When Harry Ate Sally. John was a stand-in, but he was too good looking. So Debbie Does Dallas. You need more credit than that. You know, it's like, I'll tell you what. We had a guy on. We interviewed a guy the other day named Rick Serrate, one of the best interviews we've ever had on Daily Fish, and he was this rocker that John's going to see in a couple of days. And I want to talk about this too, John. I'm going to get the icon. Yeah. John's going to go to Hope for the Warriors. I'll let him spew about that. And he talks about going to the Valley, right, and going to a studio. Well, back in my day, when you went to a Valley in the studio, all the pornos were made in the Valley, San Fernando Valley. Watch Boogie Nights; it was all made in the Valley.
Yeah.
John, talk about that. I know we're going back and forth there, but please talk about this great golf tournament you're going to.
So Hope for the Warriors is this weekend. It's in Wallace, North Carolina, which is at a place called River Landing, which is not too far from Wilmington, North Carolina. I am going to be there. I'm actually, as it turns out, I just found out I'm going to be co-MC with Doug Flynn. Unfortunately, Johnny Bench is having a little bit of a medical problem, so he's not going to be able to travel there. So kudos to Johnny. I know he's going to be good. They say he should be okay and all that. So we're going to be there. And again, for the Hope for the Warriors, if you go to hopeforthewarriors.org, you can donate there. This is a great organization that takes care of our wounded vets who have been primarily in the Afghanistan and Iraqi wars. A lot of them are doing great. A lot of them are going to be playing golf with us. I mean, that's part of the enjoyment of playing in this tournament is you actually are in a 5-some with 2 of the wounded warriors. And it's so much fun. They have a good time. And I've been going to this for like 15, 16 years, and you just get longtime friends there. So hopefully folks will get a chance to donate because this is what's so great about this tournament. It's already sold out. So you can't go, you can't do anything with it. And but if you can sign up for next year, and it'll be on next year. So it'll be good. I hope I didn't ruin the whole thing by saying Johnny Bench won't be emceeing. I'll be emceeing. So I mean, it could just.
And you know what?
There might be openings now.
Part of my spiel is I make fun of John a lot, but to tell you the truth, this guy that you're seeing daily does a lot. It gives up a lot of his time to do charity and do things like this. And this is important to me because without our soldiers, we're not sitting here in front of these podcasts. I got to ask you guys a question. We'll go to me last because I think on top of my head. What sports figure in your lives, and John, you're close to my age, and we're getting a young perspective from Mr. Nose Diamond. What sports figure influenced you the most and was heroic in your life, and you just wanted to emulate them, and you looked up to them? Hardline's looking up, so I'm going to go to you, Daly.
Wow, I was, I would say when I was 12 years old, I would say Tom Seaver, because I was a pitcher, and Tom Seaver was just he was a good chucker, but man, he worked hard, turned around that, he helped make that 1969 Mets team that had no right going to a World Series, let alone winning a World Series. And he was, and God rest his soul, he died not too long ago from Alzheimer's. But he and again, I never met Tom, but he has, and the family still has it. It's a winery out in California that delivers some fabulous wine. So he was really into wines once he retired. So I would say Tom Seaver. I think there's going to be other people there that let me think about, because we might come back on that on another show. Hardline, do you have one?
Yeah, I would definitely say Charles Barkley. I think that was just one of the most influential, and I think it's just because of how I think it's just because of how honest he was, man. Look, I know he took a lot of flack in the 90s when he was like, I'm not your role model, I shouldn't be your hero. And a lot of people were like, you're this basketball player, you make millions of dollars, like, why shouldn't kids look up to you? And he's like, look, the chances of you playing pro basketball are like little to none. You got a better chance of getting hit by lightning in a bottle than going to the pros. But being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an agent, those are things that are obtainable. You can make a really good lifestyle doing it. Don't set your goal on trying to dribble a ball, do something productive. And you look at what he's been able to do now. I mean, Charles Barkley, you look at him, 93, 94, you never would have thought that this guy would have been an Emmy award-winning broadcaster, host Saturday Night Live, as he says all the time, more than Michael Jordan, and have the #1 basketball show on network. When you look at that, that's a lot of accolades for a guy that was like, don't do me, you can do this.
Right. I have two. In my younger years, my teen years, Kenny Stabler. I just thought, and my dad, rest in peace, loved him, Hardline, because the guy was standing on the sideline with a cigarette in his mouth, and there might have been a libation. Those are the good old days. And then when I became in my 20s, in 19, I got really lucky. A guy named Irvin Magic Johnson came to my hometown of LA, and there's not just as far as his smile and his dedication to winning and his positiveness. I've never met him, but he was a huge influence in the way I want to live my life. I mean, look, forget his libido, just a great human being. And look what he's accomplished for my hometown. Think about it. All kidding aside, right? Owner of had a piece of the Lakers, part owner of the Dodgers. He's trying to put an NBA team together here with Mark Davis. Breaking news. I think my two are Kenny Stabler and I know Magic Johnson.
Let me jump in here and go back to Hardline talking about Charles Barkley. My first time when I was at the Jimmy V celebrity event, and I had just been named the host of Real TV, and we have a good friend who's got a young son who is Down syndrome. He says Charles Barkley's his favorite player. Can you get Charles's autograph? I said, sure, I'll try. And so it was right after the end of the round, and we were kind of leaving, and Terry goes, you got to go up there and get it. So I had to walk up the stairs to the thing, and it's just jam-packed. It's crowded with all the celebrities and all the sponsors in there. And so I'm going like, okay, so I'm kind of wading my way through and kind of running through. And so I kind of see Barkley, and I figure, okay, how the heck am I gonna get into Barkley and have him, do this? So I'm kind of getting close and all of a sudden Barkley looks at me and goes, hey, real TV guy, get your ass over here. And so I say, Charles, hi, and so I said, could you sign this? And so he signed it, for our friend's son. And so Terry always tells the story. I come walking out of the thing and she goes, what's the matter with you? And I said, effing Charles Barkley knew who I was. I said, I'd never expected anything like that. And I didn't say it.
We almost haven't gotten to say fuck. Charles. Hey,
here's
is it true, guys? Hardline. This is your is it true he threw a midget through a window?
I don't know if it was a midget. I know he threw somebody through a pane glass window. I think it was in Arizona, in like Phoenix. And he told the guy, he was like, I'm going to throw your ass through the window. And the guy thought he was joking, and Charles threw his ass right through the window.
Yeah. So
now, on Monday, go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, I mean, from that moment on, Charles always remained great friends with us. And we ended up at a lot of celebrity golf events. He'd come sit with us all the time. We always, and first, I don't know, I think because we were the non-controversial type, so I think it was easier. But at the Las Vegas Athletic Club, get this is one of the great stories. At the Las Vegas Athletic Club, my wife, Terry, teaches classes there. And so she was coming out of the class, and it's just jam-packed with people on the treadmills and the bicycles. And so she's kind of looking across, and she sees, your type forehead, Hardline. And she's going like, she goes, man, that looks really familiar. That looks really familiar. And so from all the way back, and again, there's hundreds of people in there. And all of a sudden he goes, hey, girlfriend. And she's like, oh my God, it's Charles. And everyone's going like, how do you know Charles Barkley? And he thinks you're his girlfriend.
You see what I put up with? See what a Dudley do-right this guy is. Let me tell you how it works. Charles Barkley saw his hot wife, Terry, and said, if Ahmad Rashad could steal his show from John, I'm going to steal his wife. It's called Two Brothers Stealing from the White Man. Oh my God, John, that's great. Yeah, I heard he's a great guy, and we all. I mean, I would think with you, Daly, be more of a shock. You said it was a Met. I thought maybe a Red Sox. Like, how cool was it that Carl Yastrzemski threw the ball out? The Giants played the Red Sox, and Carl Yastrzemski threw the first pitch to his grandson. That was probably the highlight of the Red Sox season.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he did that for the Giants because his son plays for the.
I know, but they're playing the Red Sox, and Carl. I know Carl Yastrzemski in that town is still a legend, isn't he?
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. On that note, Hardline Detroit, John Daly Boston, Fish Los Angeles. Hardline, who's the number one iconic sports figure in the history of Detroit?
Ooh, that's hard. Probably Joe Louis. Honestly,
I gotta go hockey, brother.
Probably Joe Louis because he's got the fist of Detroit. He's got a statue downtown.
Way to go! Never thought about that. Yeah.
There's Stevie Eiserman has a street, but Joe Louis has a statue, and it's a big old statue. I got to give it to Joe Louis.
That's a great. Perfect. Daly.
You're talking about for Boston now because you need a Mount Rushmore.
Well, you got the great Celtics teams, and think about he went off the out of the box, and think about great hockey players like an Eruzione or something like that. There's great athletes.
Bobby Orr. You had Bobby Orr. Who was probably the greatest Bruin, and and unfortunately his career was cut short because of injuries. And again, I always and I know we talked about this a couple of shows ago. I said Ted Williams. Big Papi may have replaced Ted Williams, and I met Ted Williams. Ted Williams was a wonderful guy, and he was a humble guy for a guy that had kind of an irascible personality. Great guy, wonderful guy to talk to and interview. So it could be Big Papi now. Really? Certainly Bobby Orr, Bill Russell. If you look at championships. Bill Russell, not only he brought 9 championships in 11 years, not only as a player, but also as a coach at certain times. So I think I'm going to go with Bill Russell, who we just recently lost, who was, not only a great athlete, but he was also a great coach. He was an inspiration to a lot of people. He was sitting in the front row, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. He was there. So he was somebody who took history and everything right. But at the same time, too, he was one of the great pitchmen as far as commercials go. I mean, he was hysterical. So I think I'm gonna go Bill Russell.
Okay, Fish? It's a slam dunk. Magic Johnson. You think about what these meant to LA sports since 1979, and LA, name a Dodger, name the Rams left, the Raiders left, the Kings, the greatest king is Gretzky. He played most of his career in Edmonton. Magic Johnson, because of what he's done afterwards with the Dodgers and the Lakers and building championships as a general manager, and what he's done for the community in Los Angeles with strip malls and movie theaters as a person. And again, his accolades. I mean, I hate when LA people compare him with Kobe. Kobe's a great player, but Magic embodies everything that LA is about because of what he did afterwards. And Kobe, unfortunately, we found so many great things about him after his life died with his philanthropy that I wish would have been known when he was alive. But Magic Johnson is the number one person as far as a sports figure that's a legend in Los Angeles. All right. What about porn stars? You guys got a porn star your favorite? I do.
Yeah, John Hardison.
Oh, great!
I'll take that.
You know what his name is? The forehead. Watch the head. No. I like Tracy Lords because she became an actress after she did porn, and a good actress. To make that transition. Stallone was in softcore. The Italian Stallion was a softcore porn. Did you know that? And look at his career. Oh, by the way, he's getting divorced after 25. I don't play People magazine. He's getting divorced after 20. Is that sad? He was so. I mean,
she's divorcing him.
Well, yeah, because he. Oh, sorry, he's in a tattoo. He brings like a film crew to tattoo parlor to show them taking off his wife from his stomach to put his daughters on there. I mean, come on, really?
Wow.
All right, guys. Before we wrap this up, I hate to be the host in this, but I got to give John Daly some stuff. Who's your favorite? Yeah. Who's your favorite actor or actress of all time? Go, one of you guys.
Oh, I'll go.
Go for it.
I'll take Ron Jeremy because not only did he satisfy the ladies, but he also always had he always does other movies too. Plus, he was a special education teacher, so touches my heart.
Wow. Wow. Favorite actor. Man, actor, actress. You know who I would say is Meryl Streep. I mean, I've never seen a performance that she's done that was mediocre, and she transformed herself. And aside from the fact she's just a good person, she was everything she's done. And she can do comedy, and she can do musicals, she can do drama, and she's done it for decades. To me, I think she's probably from the late 20th century to the early 21st century. She's probably the greatest actor of all time. I know we keep talking about Olivier back in the mid 50s and 60s, and Olivier was fabulous, but Meryl Streep, she's brilliant. She can play anything and do anything.
Was she in Deer Hunter as well?
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Oh, she was in Deer Hunter. Yeah.
And you segued. You nailed it. Mine's Christopher Walken. The range of Christopher Walken, and just everyone tries to imitate. I can't imitate the guy. Kevin Pollak does the best imitation I've ever seen. Christopher Walken walked into the Academy Awards red carpet, and what's the guy's name? Frazier works for Access. Used to be on ESPN. Is it Kevin Frazier?
Kevin Frazier.
Yeah.
He puts I'm going to try and do Walken, guys. He puts the mic in front of him daily, and he says, "Christopher Walken, so good to see you." And he says, "Frankenstein was never scared of marsupials." He keeps walking. I mean, wow. I think I did it pretty good, And he his range, and he won the Academy Award in his first as a supporting actor in The Deer Hunter. De Niro, Pacino, Denzel Washington, the range of Denzel Washington. But don't you think this, guys, before we get out of here, look at the best range of actors, in my opinion, are the Steve Carells and the Adam Sandlers, and the guys that are Kevin Hart is terrific. You ever watch him in a serious role? They're phenomenal. It's easy to do comedy, but they turn this magic on as an actor. Carell was great. He was nominated for that Jan de Bont. We portrayed the painter that was a psycho, the wrestling coach. And then look at Sandler in Uncut Gems. These guys that are comedians that turn into actors. I think it's brilliant.
Well, and look at Cranston. We had Cranston on the show here, and if you go back to Malcolm in the Middle, I mean, talk about goofball type things. And then he does Walter White. By the way, I have heard from him, so he wants to come on sometime in November because he's got a big production coming up. So he definitely wants to be on the show. He's definitely very interested in that. But I agree with you. I agree with you. The great actors are the ones. Tom Hanks. I mean, look what he can do. And
Morgan Freeman.
I'm hearing the Elvis movie is really the whole Hanks playing the Colonel is kind of steals some of the show, even though they say the guy who plays Elvis did a great job. But the revelation of that character that Hanks played, I heard, and I haven't seen it yet, definitely want to see it, is something worth watching.
Miles Teller, I talked about. Yeah, go ahead. Miles Teller was quoted as saying, real quick, Hardline, that we lost a great one. The greatest actor that could have been was Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I watched him in comedy. I watched him play Jackie Robinson. He's the Black Panther. He was great. You guys see Draft Day playing Vontae Mack? He was everything the kid did. And the fact that they hid his cancer, he let no one know about it. When you saw the Black Panther, I watched the Black Panther, I've seen it 4 or 5 times. I watched it again when it was announced the kid had cancer, and you couldn't tell he had the CGI there, couldn't tell, but he kept it so quiet. And still, I don't care what the slap. Will Smith, to me, The Pursuit of Happiness, phenomenal. 6 Degrees of Separation, when he plays the bipolar kid, then he plays Hancock. Will Smith's a brilliant actor. But I will tell you this. If he goes on stage and hits, Chris Rock knows jujitsu. Imagine if Chris Rock would have leveled him with the kick. We could have Cobra Kai season 6.
The one I'll say, and it's a tie to, kind of back to you in LA. Uncle Jack. I always say Jack Nicholson. He's just always he's done comedy, he's done drama, he's done action, he's done a little bit of everything, and he's worked with some of like the best directors and the best people all the time. I mean, you could go to Mars Attacks, Wolf. You could talk about Something's Got to Give, Easy Rider. You could talk about The Departed, and it's all something different. Even there's something about Schmidt.
Yeah, but it is. I can't say the C word on. I can't say the C word on air. I refuse to do it. But that scene in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was. I mean, Daly and I saw that film. We were 15 years old, floored. Yep. You watch it now; it still holds its own. They get him in a room and they're evaluating him, and they said, "Well, Mr. McMurphy, what do you think of Nurse Ratched?" Well, she's kind of cute for a CUN. The way he said the word, they didn't say it back then in 1974 on brilliance, and we're losing Jack Nicholson. I don't think has all his faculties. God bless his soul, but we're losing him. And the fact that Clint Eastwood's still out there at 91, we're losing the eye. Tony Bennett's still out there. Clint Eastwood. Hardison, we're gonna get you an agent, and I like that. We're gonna get you a porn star from Daily Fish and call you the forehead. Chocolate Thunder Forehead. There you go.
Nice.
You could be.
I think I saw that already in a movie once.
Daily, you should tease us about. Maybe we got going on later. They got doubleheader today, but tease us about. I just got a text. Tease us about Monday. What's going on with an alumni of the show at 3:00?
Well, we've got a couple of good shows coming up. So so on Monday. On Monday, we're going to have, and usually Monday's usually our gab day, but we're having a little bit of a gab here today because Monday we're going to have football expert Chris Landry back on the show again, so you can get ready before the season. And this is going to be really, really cool because Chris, as many of you know, is if you go to LandryFootball.com, and Chris was actually one of the guys who started the combine. He now works for colleges and pros as far as drafting and getting them ready for the season. And we had him on. God, when did we have him? We had him on back before the draft, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it was a riveting show. I mean, it was one of those shows where it was good that we weren't talking. And he had so many great stories and his insights into football. And again, he was an assistant coach under Belichick at the Cleveland Browns. And so imagine the stuff he has. So he's coming on. We're going to have a full show with him. That's going to be Monday night coming up. And you can watch us, again, Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, on Facebook, daily.fish.5. You can also watch us on Facebook at Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. You can check out Daily Fish on YouTube. And also, we're on Wingding TV. And you can watch Hey Vegas TV at heyvegastv.com. And of course, listen to us. You won't get a chance to see Hardline, but if you listen to us, it's still good. We'll put pictures of Hardline up there so you can see them. So, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and also Amazon as well. And we got another show coming up, and this is actually great. This is, and Fish, you pulled this one off. We have 3 of the top up-and-coming bartenders in Las Vegas, and they're going to fill us in on what's happening in the bar scene in Sin City. Now, they're lined up as 2, 3, and 4 as far as the greatest bartenders of all time, because Hardline, we know who number 1 is.
Ron Jeremy.
No.
Ron Jeremy can really make a stiff drink. I just made that up. Hey, you know what, guys? One thing good about Monday, the great lead-in, John. One thing great about Monday is he's going to give us predictions about who he's going to win. The 4 teams are going to the national championship playoffs in college football, and then the division winners and who's won MVP. And I'm gonna put him up against Hardline. Hardline, I'm giving you the form on Monday. You do the talking.
Okay.
You're 68%, buddy. And that forehead's going to shine like Idris Elba is going to be the next James Bond 007. So the bottom line, I want to hear his predictions compared to yours. So when he says, I'm going to ask him, give me 2 teams, one in the AFC and one in the NFC. They're going to make the playoffs that didn't. I want to see if they rival yours.
Okay.
That'd be fun. And that's going to be fun. You're going to see what and he's got some interesting takes on a lot of stuff. Like John, the NIL, and we're going to give him an hour. We're going to have a lot of fun with him. You think we banter? This guy talks.
Yeah, well, and I think there's some interesting topics that I'd like to touch on. Which and again, because we dive into politics. Not that I'm going to ask him about politics, but if you think about it, the Biden administration just forgave a lot of college tuition loan money, and when you think about it, and this issue was brought up to me, and I got to do a little bit more research, but I'd like to find out from some other people. But the colleges that have the huge tuitions, that these kids have massive loans that they got to pay back. A lot of them are the ones with the big college football programs. And now you got the NIL, and it's like, are things changing in a way that's actually going to hurt? Because all the taxpayers might be saying, why are we paying all this? Why are we the ones that have to pay for these high tuition costs, even while they have, football teams that are there doing? So it's kind of tying in. So I'd love to see if Chris has any ideas on that. The other thing I want to ask him about, Fish, is the fact that I'm going up to Clemson. I'm going to be there for the Clemson opening game. And they're playing Furman, so it's probably not going to be a good game. But what's fascinating is what Clemson and Hardline, you mentioned this the other day when we were chatting, was that Clemson's kind of on a precipice. They've got to turn it around. They've got to be in the top 4 if they're going to still be considered. And I think Dabo knows that. And I think their quarterback situation is they got to kind of figure that out. So I'm going to ask him about that. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about too.
Yeah, I'm going to ask about what the shitstorm that this guy's put into my Hardline in my city. What this guy's done in the media right now. That's what I said. That's what he looked like if he lived here, because the TB12's gone. But we'll ask him that, and it'd be great. It's just great because he's got better insight. Between him and Hardline, we shouldn't lose a freaking goddamn bet on our weekly last man standing.
Absolutely.
Because watch Hardline win this thing. It's be great. All right, guys, it's been fun.
Super. Okay, we'll see you all Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Daily Fish. All right, guys. Daily Fish, Hardline. Good job.
All right, forehead. Who's your favorite?